So the college admissions scandal has exposed the lengths to which wealthy people will go to buy access. Because of that, they could be headed to prison. Among them, of course, Hollywood actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, who face anywhere between 6 to 21 months if they are convicted. Well, now CNN has confirmed that at least one parent linked to this case has hired a special prison consultant. What can he do for them? Let's ask him. Justin Paperny is the co-founder of White Collar Advice, which advises people facing time in federal prisons. Mr. Paperny, I didn't even know this was a thing, prison consultant. What do you teach your clients?
Well, our goal is to help our clients try to convey to the judge through their own efforts why they're worthy of mercy. We have to understand there is a cynicism in the way the government views a defendant. They're judged for the worst out-of-character decision they've ever made. So our goal is not to buy them out of jail, but rather ask the court to take the totality of their lives into consideration. They're good people who made some bad decisions, and we ask that that be considered at sentencing.
But this is the irony, Mr. Paperny, of course, which is that they are charged with trying to buy their kids' way into college, and now it does seem that they are paying to buy their way out of prison.
Well, they're not trying to buy their way out of prison, but rather trying to articulate how they accept responsibility, why they made some bad decisions, try to develop a sense of perspective, and frankly identify with their victims if they end up pleading guilty. In this way, it's done transparently, while recognizing they're up against the United States government that has endless resources and is in a position to paint them as a criminal, as someone who cheats and takes advantage of others. So to the extent they can change that narrative, I think they're simply equalizing the playing field. They're not buying themselves out of anything. They're trying to equalize the game, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I can see now why your service is so valuable, but you are helping them craft a persona that will be more sympathetic to the judge.
We help any defendant willing to invest the time identify 4 points. They express remorse, identify with the victims, and articulate to a judge why they'll never return to a courtroom. I was a federal defendant, served time in prison. I did it horrifically, and it's the reason our company derives satisfaction in helping people, frankly, do better than the criminal justice system spits out on a daily basis. There's too much failure. I think we have an obligation to help them do better.
How much does your service cost?
It varies from $9 to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 and everything in between. That's
a wide range. How much per hour?
We typically do not do an hourly rate, though we can, and that can range from $50 to a couple of $100 and much higher and much lower. Our goal, it's easy to paint our company as those helping the privileged. The reality is any defendant willing to invest the time, we're able to help. It's not a matter of means, it's a matter of effort, finding perspective, not complaining, and working to create a new record that is different than how prosecutors are going to judge them at a sentencing hearing. That's their opportunity and challenge.
Which parent are you working with in this college admissions scam?
I'd love to tell you, but I cannot.
Does that parent, is it a celebrity parent?
I'd love to tell you, but I cannot.
Does that parent appreciate the gravity of what's happened? Does that parent accept responsibility, or does that parent at this point, while you're working with him or her, still believe that they were doing what was in the best interest of their kid?
Initially, the focus is on the defendant. How is my life imploding? I may go to federal prison. Then in time, helping them understand what success is, namely the shortest federal prison sentence, helps them begin to accept responsibility and perhaps recognize their decisions may have hurt and impacted others. From there, we seek to develop a sense of perspective, namely that people in our country have endured much worse and have overcome. And lastly, in the totality of their life, have done well. There should be a tiny blip. I told a client in this case, hope you live to be 100 years old, and if this turns out to be 2 or 3 years, it's a couple of % to your life. Do not let it define your life and become a life sentence, which is too often the case with our miserable, wretched criminal justice system.
Justin Paperny, your business is called White Collar Advice, something that I guess a lot of people need right now. Thank you very much for explaining it to us.
Thank you for inviting me.